At this point in time, I want to call Jayne Chilutti to the stage to be inducted to the 2023 NWBA Hall of Fame. Jacket first.
I've got that lightning inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, oh, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are made.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Paul, and you'll be back shortly. Jayne, we are so proud to induct you into the NWBA Hall of Fame. As well said by Jen Ruddle, without the service that's provided at your level, at the officials level, at the coaches level, we don't get to play. So you are elite in terms of service. Thank you.
Thank you, David and Jen. I thought a lot about who to ask to do my induction presentation. A very wise person, Brandon, said to me, who other than Mark or I know what you do? That is Jen. And when the NWBA restructured and changed my role to head classifier, I was asked who I wanted to work with as chair of classification. Jen was my first and only choice. So thank you for accepting that role back then and for accepting that role tonight. I want to first congratulate the other members of the class of 2023. You are all so deserving. Willie, I always smile when I see you, and you have been a friend to Mark and I for many years. Now, some of you may not know, but Willie is a connoisseur of Philly cheesesteaks.
Come on.
And when he comes to visit, he comes with a plan and a list, actually, of which cheesesteak sandwich place we're going and on what day. And Willie is one of the few people that can go to Pat's and then over to Gino's, which is never safe to do, and have a cheesesteak from each of them in the same sitting. Will, you have an amazing playing career and all the stats to back it up. But the thing that has always impressed me about you is your approachability. Players and non-players alike come up and talk to you, and you are always available to share your passion and your experiences with them to help grow their excitement for what you love. And Josh, I didn't meet you until we were in Guadalajara, but I had heard a lot about you from my friends in IWBF and particularly IWBF Europe. They told me how great you were, and they were right. It is so exciting to watch you play, and I am so fortunate to have seen you play with Team USA and win ever since. I'd like to thank Keith Nuella for nominating me and all the people in the NWBA and the IWBF that wrote letters of support. David told me I would cry when I read them, and he was right, I did. So thank you all for the kind words. I love you. I want to thank the Hall of Fame members that selected me. I am humbled that individuals I have looked up to as mentors, admired as players, and respected as visionaries and leaders of our organization thought that I made a significant contribution to be worthy to be a member of the Hall of Fame. I would not be here tonight if it were not for my mother, teaching my brother, my sisters. At home, this isn't the part where I cried, that was later. Teaching us the importance of volunteering. She volunteered for whatever came up and showed us how to make a difference. We learned to do the same. Those lessons remain with us now. And my brother and sister are here tonight, and I'm very happy that they can share this with me. I admire the volunteer work that they do, and all of my nieces and nephews. For example, my brother started and coached a traveling team for high school boys in Newark, New Jersey. My sister coordinated an annual craft fair benefiting the high school band even with COVID restrictions. My nephew Keith coached Katie's Comets to a 3rd place in the Prep Nationals. My niece Rachel fosters too many dogs. My brother-in-law Dan rides the MS bike ride every year, and well, you get the picture. Everybody does something, and as you can tell, I'm very proud of my family. This is where I cried. The most important person to me is my husband, Mark. Mark is a true servant leader in all aspects of his personal and professional life. He is selfless with giving of himself with his volunteer activities and truly values the role of volunteers in successful organizations. Mark has been a leader in the Boy Scouts of America and on the Order of the Arrow since a youth on a council, regional, area, and national level. He is an Eagle Scout and carries those teachings throughout his whole life. Most recently, he was elected president and CEO of the Cradle Liberty Council and one of the largest in the US, and I'm so proud of him every day. He has supported and encouraged me along the way with each new opportunity. He sees the late nights and the early mornings where I'm sitting in my pajamas on my laptop. He supports me time away from home and work for both domestic and international events and meetings. He listens when I need to talk it out, and he pushes me when I lack confidence in myself. He makes me strive to be a better person every day, and by his words and actions. And he inspires me to reach for greatness. He makes me happy. So thank you for being you, loving me. I consider myself fortunate to have had the opportunities to serve this sport, and I'm grateful to those that have trusted me with those responsibilities that I have undertaken, both domestically and internationally. I have met so many people around the country and around the world because of wheelchair basketball, and my life has been enriched because of that. When I started at McGee Rehab, yay, as a new grad OT, the director was Maureen Frieda. She was on the board of the NWBA. And although that predates many people in this room, that was the National Wheelchair Athletic Association, and it was the governing body of most sports at that time, except for basketball. She told us that if we wanted to know what the real world was like for someone with a disability, if we wanted to see real life skills and not what we were taught in school, and if we wanted to give back to the community we serve, then we need to volunteer with wheelchair sports. So we did, and we helped with track and field and swimming, and I volunteered with the McGee basketball team, the spokesman. And I was hooked. Basketball, it's a Philly thing. The more I did, the more I wanted to do, and that's why I became a classifier. How I first went to nationals as a team rep for McGee, became the team rep for McGee for the Mid-Atlantic Conference, and even became a member of the D2 committee. For me, it was always, and will always be about creating opportunities for people to play the sport at any level. Working with Joe Curlin, the Katie Curlin Fund, Stu Greenberg, and the Philly Department of Recreation, we started Katie's Comets, a junior program in Philly. And I'm so proud of Katie's Comets and so happy that the kids from our program have learned to be so successful. I'm proud to see them and the players from McGee's basketball and rugby teams coming back and working with those kids now, giving back and being role models, demonstrating the importance of service to the next generation. I was so excited and happy when the NWBA provided me the opportunity to learn the international system. I got to learn from Mike Frogley and Tip Thibodeau, both NWBA Hall of Fame members, before I went to Colorado Springs for my zonal certification course with Don Perryman, who at the time was the chair of classification for IWBF. That was the start of a wonderful friendship with Don and so many others in the IWBF family. 2 years later, I received my full international classification license, and I soon met one of my best friends, Anne LaChance. Anne's here tonight to come down to be a part of this celebration with us. In 2012, we both went to Stoke Mandeville to finalize the instruction materials and be a part of the first certified IWBF classification instructors. During that time, the NWBA was transitioning from the medical system to the IWBF functional system. Our transition has been aided by these education materials of the IWBF and the many IWBF classifiers that have come to nationals to be a part of our panels and help mentor our NWBA classifiers in learning the system and being successful. I am forever grateful for the help and support of our IWBF family. I want to acknowledge the NWBA classifiers that are in the house. Many of those that are here tonight have been classifiers since we started the functional system. I want to thank them for answering my calls and texts and making themselves available for weekends away from home to volunteer their expertise. The NWBA would not have a successful classification system if it were not for you. When I started, there were few women in leadership roles in the NWBA. I am happy to see that number of women increasing, and I am honored to be a part of the growing number of women in the Hall of Fame. My opportunities have come because of women leaders like Karen Casper Robeson, Deborah Dillon Lightfoot, Kathy Curtis, and Julie Duncan that have come before me. The number of women's teams is growing, and I'm hopeful seeing more women play in our sport and optimistic of more becoming leaders off the court as coaches, referees, classifiers, committee members, board of director members, and staff. We women have a responsibility to create paths of opportunity and show the young girls that were here last weekend and those that'll be at the Women's and Military Nationals in 3 weeks that they belong in the NWBA, that we want them in the NWBA, and that having women involved in all aspects of our sport is important and will help the NWBA be a stronger, healthy organization. I want to thank everyone that came here tonight to be a part of our celebration. As a volunteer, I do not have honors, awards, or recognition. I do what I do because I love this sport, and I want to help athletes compete. What I do is behind the scenes, and it's nothing compared to the illustrious careers of people that are in the Hall of Fame. To be recognized by the NWBA with their highest honor was very unexpected. And I never imagined I would be on this stage talking to you tonight for my Hall of Fame induction. As my mother told me when she encouraged me to volunteer, our community becomes stronger the more we help others. The NWBA and the IWBF is our community. We are charged with protecting it and helping it grow and prosper. A quote Mark often says by Ian Goodman, who is the founder of the Order of the Arrow, Scouting's National Honor Society is, "For said, he who serves his fellows is of his fellows greatest." So when you leave tonight, I challenge you to go look for opportunities to serve others in your community and look for your greatness in serving others. Thank you.